Yo, what's up, my peeps out there in the digital space? Let's talk taxes for a quick second. Let's talk taxes. All right, we're going to talk taxes here real quick, but I want to get this shared out. Give me a second here. I'm about to share this out. We're going to talk about this W-4 thing. And I'm still, as much as I come on here and talk about this W-4, I'm still having conversations, seeing and hearing people about the misuse of this W-4. So I'm going to talk about this one more again so that everybody can be informed. All right. Uh, so I'm sharing this out in a couple of groups because we are in tax season. And we don't want no one to get jammed up by them three letters. So let me share this in one more group. We're gonna get right at it. If you're not able to stick on, y'all can come back to the timeline and catch the replay. I think that's it. All right, cool. All right, let's get at it. For those who do not know me, my name is Cedric Jenkins, founder and creator of Your Money Matters. Your money matters because of the fact you get on each and every day to earn it. You have a God-given right to keep it. So it's my purpose, passion, and my intent to come out here and share some content with my people as far as how they can keep more of their money. It is not how much money you're able to make. It is all about how much money you're able to keep. And the most you're able to keep is what's going to make you financially well off. All right. Let's talk about this W-4. Now, right now, we're in the tax season, right? And so everybody's getting their taxes done. Okay. Tax professionals are probably getting more clientele coming to them now. They're probably busy, just like myself, getting busy with tax clients, helping them with their tax savings, things of that nature. But I'm still seeing and hearing people bunny hopping with their W-4. And I'll explain what I mean about that. Okay. What I was in a conversation, we were talking about some tax strategy with someone. And we were talking about the legal, ethical, and moral way of getting tax savings so that they can increase their refund. All right. This is all about a strategy game, right? When it comes to paying less in taxes. Okay. Because the more I come on here and I talk about it all the time, the more you keep Uncle Sam out of your pocket, the more money you can keep in your pocket. All right. The less you know, the more you're going to owe. All right. The more you owe, the less you're going to owe. So when somebody's passing on some good tax strategy information, they're trying to increase or enhance your tax knowledge as a taxpayer so that you can have a favorable tax refund. But some always try to find a backdoor or try to give you cheat code or what have you in terms of Uncle Sam. Let me help y'all understand something. You all are not going to find a cheat code for Uncle Sam. For you to get tax savings from Uncle Sam, you're going to have to use legal, ethical, moral tax strategies in order for you to lower your tax liability so that you can pay less in taxes so that you can keep more of your money. Now, in this conversation, we're having this dialogue about a tax plan, right? Someone said, well, miss me with all this because when we talked about the W-4 and how it can hurt you or benefit you, then when I mentioned about the W-4, people using the W-4 to write exempt, and I said that's not a legal, ethical, or moral way unless you qualify for it. That person said, "Hey, you missed me when you said that we don't tax the tax strategy is not to claim exempt on your on the W-4." See, this is what people do. Some people do it out of ignorance; they don't know it. Other people do it and know that you shouldn't be doing it, but do it anyway. All right, but this is for both people. For those who don't know it, and for those who are doing it illegally. First of all, the W-4 is a federal form. Falsifying a federal form is a penalty. Okay, there is a civil penalty and there is a criminal penalty that the IRS can levy against any taxpayer. Let's look at the civil penalty. Okay, the civil penalty will start off at least about $500. They'll probably hit you with that first time offender, things of that nature, right? But let's say that you are a repeat offender. Then they come and hit you with criminal penalties. All right, heavy penalties such as interest and fees could possibly mean jail time. All right. I will provide a link to that from the irs.gov website to where it talks about falsifying this document. All right. So this is not something that I just grab information out of the air. All right. And as a tax professional, it is my fiduciary responsibility to inform our people as far as what the tax law says. All right. So that nobody doesn't get into problems with the IRS. We do know that the IRS, if you didn't know, the IRS is probably one of the biggest collection agency in this nation. Not this world, just in this nation, because the federal tax laws only have limitation for United States. But as far as the United States, the IRS is the biggest collection agency that we have. And you don't want to get in that situation with the federal government because of the fact that you trying to cheat the federal government for some money, falsifying a federal document. Now, here's the strategy when people do exempt. This is when I talk about the bunny hopping. So for them, this is what happens. Either the first 6 months or the last 6 months, they change from being taxed to being exempt. All right. And when you change your status from being taxed to an exempt, when you hit exempt, that means no federal taxes are taken out of your paycheck for that period of time. Okay. Now, when you change it from exempt back to your regular filing status, what your legal filing status is, now federal taxes are taken out. Some will probably do it at the end of the year because some of them probably may get that end of year bonus. Some may get that Christmas bonus or what have you, and they don't want that Christmas bonus or that what have you to be taxed. All right. I get it, y'all. I understand that we're trying to find ways to keep Uncle Sam out of our pocket, but there's legal, ethical ways of doing it. But when we trying to cheat Uncle Sam comes after you. Now, if you want that smoke, go right ahead. If you want that smoke, but I guarantee you don't want that smoke from the IRS. All right, you don't want to cheat. You don't want to falsify a W-4 just so you can get a couple of $1,000 or whatever it is back into your paycheck. Pay less in taxes just by you cheating the W-4 form when you can legally, ethically, and morally do it the right way. See, it's easy to cheat than do something that is right. It's easy to cheat than do something right. So here's the thing when it comes to being exempt. So you have to qualify. There's a criteria for you claiming exempt. Okay. One of the criteria is you owe no federal income taxes in the prior year. That's one of the criteria. The other criteria is you expect to owe no federal income taxes in the current tax year. All right. Something else that you need to make note. If you know you're going to be earning income in essence of in the sum of your standard deductions, or shall I say your filing status. All right. So there's standard deduction, you have the head of household, and then you have married filing jointly. Let's look at the standard deduction for this year. If you know, well, the standard deduction is $12,550. Okay. That's for single people and married filing separately. That's your standard deduction. If you earn income that exceed your standard deductible amount, you cannot claim exempt on your federal tax withholding. Let's go with head of household. If you head of household, meaning you're a single parent, you're not married. And I'm gonna stick right there for a second because this is something else that we do. We claim head of household when we are married. Go to the W-4, and the W-4 would tell you that the only person that can claim head of household is you have to be unmarried. That means you have to be single with a dependent that's under the age of 17. You cannot be married and claim head of household. It is right there on the W-4 form. Okay. But head of household, your standard deductible amount is $18,800. If you make income in the previous year that exceeds $18,800 as head of household, you, ma'am, you, sir, cannot be exempt from federal tax withholdings. And lastly, my married folks, married filing jointly. Your standard deductible amount is $25,100. If you combine earn income of $25,100 or more, you, ma'am, you, sir, kings and queens, you cannot be exempt from federal tax withholdings. Bunny hopping every 6 months, every 3 months, whatever the case may be, back and forth on your W-4, just so you can keep the government out of your pocket, keep from government from taking taxes out of your paycheck without properly qualifying to claim exempt, you falsifying a federal form. There are penalties for falsifying a federal form. There is a better way to lower your tax liability, ladies and gentlemen, but we too lazy to get a tax plan. We too lazy to implement a tax plan. What we rather would do is let me go get the W-4 and let me just go change my W-4 to exempt so they can take no taxes out. And then when I'm satisfied as how much money they didn't take out, then I'll change it back. Some would say, hey, I've been doing it all my life. I ain't never got caught. You know what? If you haven't got caught, count it all glory. God had graced you, had granted you grace for not getting caught. But who's to say that you won't get caught? Because the federal government, they can tap into your tax returns anytime they get ready. They can go back as far as 10 years. And if they find 10 years worth of this, they can pile all 10 years on you all at one time and say, hey, give me my money back that you didn't pay. So y'all, it is best to get some tax knowledge from a tax professional to where you can implement the information so that you can legally, ethically, and morally keep Uncle Sam out of your pocket. The tax laws do allow you to do that. You ain't got to cheat them. You don't. You just have to get a tax plan from a tax professional to show you how to let the tax laws be in your favor. But see, when you don't know, the tax laws work against you, and they're your worst enemy. But they can be your best friend any given time. But you have to get a tax plan from a tax professional who provide those tax plans to taxpayers. And taxpayers is your fiduciary responsibility to implement it. The tax professional provides the information, the taxpayer implement the information. So y'all, stop bunny hopping with this W-4. You're falsifying a federal form, and it causes penalties. Y'all can play with that if y'all want to, all right? But I'm here to tell you, the IRS is the nation's biggest collection agency, and they know how to collect. They'll send you nice little letters here and there, all right, to get to, to soften you up. Say, hey, Cedric, hey, we just want to let you know you owe us about $10,000, but no worries. You can sign up for a installment plan or what have you, right? And they're gonna send you that letter. Now you don't reply back to the letter. They're gonna give you 30 days. They send you another letter. Hey, look, I sent you a letter 30 days ago, and I ain't getting no reply back. Hey, look, we got options. If you can't pay that $10,000, you don't reply back. Then they come back and say, hey, look, doggone it, I ain't playing with you no more. You owe $10,000. If you don't pay $10,000, we coming for you. Now, how can they come for you? They can garnish your wages. They can put a lien on your personal assets, car, house, real estate property, what have you. Okay, credit cards, things of that nature. They can do those things. All right, and you don't want them to get to that point to where they want to place a lien on your personal assets because you trying to dodge them because you done did something illegal. Don't even put yourself in that position. Now, I know this video, because we're talking about taxes, because taxes are not a sexy thing to talk about, but it's only taxes is only sexy when you talk about getting a tax refund. Outside, once you get your refund, then y'all don't worry about taxes anymore. Y'all just go when you get your refund check, you go do your thing, spend it up, whatever case may be, then you wait for the next tax refund to come next year. But see, taxes happens 12 months out of the year. Taxes happen 12 months out of the year. And what you do the previous 12 months determines what you get in your tax refund in the following year when you get ready to prepare your taxes. Right? So it ain't just about that one check. And if we around here just living for that one check, what are you doing in the other 11 months? Financially, mentally, physically, what are you doing the other 11 months? But we all be all out for that tax refund. Y'all, we got to change this right here. It's a mindset thing when it comes to money, particularly with taxes, y'all. We shouldn't be trying to wait for a come up from a one check at the end of the year when we've been struggling 11, 12 months prior to. So y'all, falsifying that W-4, bunny hopping, you going back and forth every 6 months, so you won't let Uncle Sam take no taxes out, no federal taxes out, and you're not even qualified to claim exempt is going to cost you some headaches in the long run. And you probably saying, hey, I've been doing all this time. I ain't going to get caught. You just never know when Uncle Sam will knock on that door or send you a letter. They're going to do one or the other. I would hate to see the fact that the men in black suits show up at your door. They probably won't do that. But they will send you some correspondence. Definitely. They will send you some correspondence and say, hey, where's my money? I've been sending you letters. You've been ignoring me. You've been giving me the Heisman. You've been ghosting me. Where my money? Oh, you ain't gonna answer? Okay, cool. When you pull up at your house, guess who's gonna be there? Me, my folks. And we're gonna kick you out because we don't put a levy on your house. Can they do that? Sure, they can. They sure can. So y'all, it's not worth cheating the government by falsifying the W-4 just so you can lower your tax liability or pay less in taxes when there is a legal way of doing it through a tax plan. Get with your tax professional. I call myself one. I provide tax planning for individual and business owners, okay, as well as prepare taxes as well. If you need a tax plan to where you need help on figuring out how to lower your tax liability year in and year out, get with your tax professional. And a tax professional is, you have a good tax professional if they're offering you a tax plan. Okay. If they don't offer your tax plan, all they doing is just punching numbers. All they doing is just preparing taxes. We call them tax preparers. No pun intended to the tax preparers, but tax preparers, all they doing is just punching in numbers. Where tax professionals, they prepare taxes and prepare taxpayers how to get tax savings. So those tax savings would show up in a tax refund. For every $3 in deduction, that's $1 of tax savings that show up in your refund. So let me do the numbers. Let's say that you have $15,000 worth of deduction that you legally, ethically, and morally qualify for. Okay. That's about roughly $5,000 that would show up in your tax refund. How did I get that? Like I said, for every $3 in deduction, that's $1 that would show up in your tax refund. Right? So 3 divided by $15,000, that gave you $5,000. That's how I came up with $5,000. But you have to be able to get the $15,000 in deduction. You have to be able to qualify for it. The only way you'll be able to qualify for that, for $15,000 worth of deduction, is you need a tax plan. You need a tax plan. All right. So for those who are still in need of a tax professional to give them a tax plan, give them some tax education, or what have you, and if you're still looking for one, I'm here if you need it. Somewhere in the comment, you'll see my link. You can click on that link and you can schedule an appointment with me and we can talk taxes, whatever tax need that you may have. I don't charge. However, if we get to the point to where you need my services, then that we'll talk then. Okay. But the consultation is free. Some of the tax professionals, they charge for their time. Some say to me, hey, Cedric, you should be charging for your consultation. But I don't charge for my consultation, and I know what the questions to ask to where I know whether or not if myself or a potential client are going to partner up and do business with each other. All right. But I do make sure that the consultation is not a consultation where we on the phone for about an hour and you trying to pick my brain. No, I want to find out what your issue is. And then from there, we find out whether or not if you and I are a good fit for me to provide some services to you. Okay. So we'll be on the phone 10 to 15 minutes so you can, tell me what your situation is. And then from there, I'll provide you some options as far as what you can do to fix your tax situation. And then from there, decide whether or not if we're going to go any further from there. But it's not going to be a long strategy session where I'm giving out free cookies because of the fact those are services that I provide that I charge for. I just don't charge for consultation. See, because I have services that I provide. Tax planning for individual business owner, that's a service that I charge. For tax resolution, tax representation, I charge for that. Tax preparation, I charge for that. Bookkeeping and payroll, I charge for that. And lastly, CFO services, I charge for that. Those are my services that I offer through my tax and accounting firm. All right. But we can schedule a consultation call to see whether or not which one of those services can solve your problem. Too easy. But if you don't have anyone that can provide these services to you and you've been looking for that, there's a link below this caption of the video. Below the video, click on that link. CedricTJenkins.com/consultation. Go to that link and it will take you to my calendar, and you can book a time that's convenient for you. I'll make myself available for the time that you set, and we can hop on the phone and we can talk. But y'all, stop falsifying federal forms. There's a criminal and civil penalty that can be assessed to you if caught. I'm going to say this again. Stop falsifying the federal form, which is that W-4 form. Stop bunny hopping every 3 to 6 to 5, whatever months, however often you change that W-4, okay, and claiming exempt. You have to qualify to claim exempt. You just can't just write on the exempt and not qualify for it. That's falsifying a federal form. All right. You don't want them headaches. You don't want that smoke. If you think you want that smoke, go right ahead and continue doing what you're doing. Continue doing what you're doing. That's $500 the first time they catch you as a civil penalty. And they can right off the rip hit you with criminal penalties if they're in a bad mood. It's up to them how they want to do it. But they got a $500 civil penalty, and then they got a criminal penalty. All right. The fees may be more, or you may get jail time. It's up to them how they want to do it. All right. That's my rant for tonight. Not really a rant, but this is empowering the people. All right. Now, again, if this is something that you say, hey, Cedric is just talking a bunch of hogwash, then this video probably not for you. All right. But for some who feel as though, hey, I want to do this thing legally, do it right without getting hit by the IRS. I want to find a way of lowering my tax liability without getting in trouble. Right. I want to pay less in tax without getting in trouble. I want to find out how I can do that. Get with your tax professional. If you don't have one, you're listening to one right now. All right. This is yours truly, Cedric Jenkins, founder and creator of Your Money Matters. Your money matters because of the fact we get up each and every day to earn it. You, my man, sir, have the right to keep it. All right. We'll holler at y'all later. Y'all be blessed. Peace.